Hey everybody, it's George Whittam reporting for Whittam's World, and this week I've got a really cool product for voice actors, but for podcasters, webcasters, basically anybody who wants to be able to mix audio with their voice and play it back. This thing is really freaking cool. I've been excited about using this and trying it out ever since I saw the AG03 by Yamaha at the NAMM show this past January. So I asked my good friends at B&H to send one along, and here it is. The AG03. What I love about the Yamaha AGO3 is it took everything out of the mixer that a podcaster or a voice actor does not need to simplify it as much as possible, but also putting back in features that other mixers just don't have. So let me show you what I'm talking about. First of all, this unit is totally bus powered. It does not require a power supply. The power is provided from directly off the USB port, like, a Scarlett 2i2, for example. But if you're using it with a tablet computer that doesn't have enough juice, you can give it an auxiliary power boost off of this connection right here. That's all that's on the back. Very, very simple. So on the front panel, we've got a very simplified interface with some very powerful features. The AG03 only has one mic input. How many mics are you using doing a voice acting job? One, probably. So one microphone is all you need. One microphone with one microphone slider, which is, you can hear adjust the level to the recording. A phantom power control. A pad if you're going to yell into the microphone. A gain control to fine-tune the amount of gain on your microphone. And as you can see on my mic, which is the AT875R, the gain only has to be at about 11 o'clock or something. Most mic preamps of this price range, I need to have the gain at almost like 3 or 4 o'clock to get good levels. So this thing has oodles of gain. Then we've got the DSP section that can be engaged by pressing these buttons. More about that later. Also, you've got a second input channel for guitar input, or it also doubles as a keyboard or stereo line level input from any other thing that you want. We also have our input from that device as another fader. And we have a control that controls the playback from the computer, or the loopback as they call it, with its own fader, which is, again, pretty unusual. There's other mixers that have a playback function, but it's usually just a push button. And you can't mix it into the mix like this one can. So you can control what goes to the PC through USB by switching this switch and changing positions. In position 1, it's only the inputs that you're recording, microphone and guitar, nothing else, totally dry. In input mode 2, input mix, you're recording those things plus a mix of the effects that I was telling you about earlier, and whatever else is coming into the mixer. In loopback mode, you can not only record those things, but you can also record what comes back through the playback from the computer. Why is that cool? Well, if you're doing record and playback of a track on Twisted Wave, and you want this person on Skype to hear it, for example, no messing around with a lot of complicated software. This thing has it built right in. Just set it on loopback. When you play back your audio, just pot it up here and they'll hear it as well. Very, very cool. Some people may have an iPod or a portable player they want to listen to as well. It can go right here. That might be handy for mixing in music and effects for a podcast or doing live DJing. And it has a headset jack, I should be clear, which has a microphone and a headset jack. So if you have one of those computer or PC headsets that has a mic and a headphone jack, a green and a pink one, they can be plugged in there, giving you another option for an input. Most voice actors wouldn't use that, but if you have a really good sounding headset, you might be able to get away with it. Then on the far right here, we've got the mixer main mix level, which has just basically green and red. If you're going into the red, you're clipping. And another cool feature about something of this size, which is very rare, is it has a headphone volume control for monitoring and a separate speaker volume control for monitoring your speakers. I love this. So many other mixers do not do this. And last but not least, it has a monitor mute button. If I press this in, I no longer hear my microphone at all. I only hear what plays back from the computer. Why is this so freaking cool? Well, it creates the mix minus that someone would need so that they don't have feedback issues. So if you have speakers plugged into this unit and your mic is also plugged into it, press monitor mute, and now the only thing that will come back through the speakers is what comes back through the USB port and the USB fader on this thing. So it eliminates feedback issues. It just blows me away the features they've packed into this little unit. It's really, really amazing. They've also given you RCA jacks for speaker out or 1/4 inch, depending on what your speakers have. And lastly, a foot switch, which can control the effect mode and turn it on and off. So let's talk about the effects really quick. It's got a compressor and EQ and reverb multi-effect processor. But the unit has this inside in DSP. It's a chip inside that provides these functions. But all it has here is an on and off switch. So how flexible is that? Maybe not so much. Well, that's when the AGP DSP controller comes in. So when you first load the AGP DSP controller, you're going to see something like this, okay? Extremely, extremely basic controls. This is for the musician that doesn't want to learn anymore and just wants to have the basics to control. But I'm not so happy with the easy mode. I want expert mode. So I'm going to click expert, and it's going to tell me when you change the expert, it's going to reapply the settings on the expert screen to the AGP or the AG06, 03. The 06, by the way, is another version with more inputs. It's a bigger version. So when I bring this screen up, wham, look at this. Now I have access to a compressor with all of the compressor controls you would normally want to see on a compressor: gain, ratio, release and attack, and threshold, a full-featured compressor, and a full-featured 4-band with high-pass filter equalizer. Super nifty. So now when I engage this function, I'm actually using the settings you see on this screen to dial in my sound. A little bit brighter, a little bit hotter, and a little bit of gain reduction to control the level for me automatically. Super sweet. Really, really great design. I'm so impressed with what they've done here. Then I've got the effects send, which controls how much of my microphone I want to feed to my reverb. So if I want no reverb on the mic, turn it all the way down. If I want a little bit, turn it halfway up. Super cool. And then you've got all these controls over here to adjust reverb. Voice actors, are you going to use this? Probably not. But if you're a singer on the side on the weekends, this could be really, really, really cool. So I'll go ahead and turn off the reverb effect. So again, all these settings are inside the box. Once you've set them here and you've saved them as a preset, they will stay and they will be locked into the unit. You can save it as a user and bring it up later, load back to an old version, and you can go back to where you were. But once the software is closed, the effect is still loaded into memory. It's still locked in. You can go on the road and not have to worry about playing with the software because the settings are inside the box. So all in all, I am really, really impressed with what the AG03 can do. At $150 or so, what the street price is on this, the feature set is really remarkable. The sound quality is absolutely fantastic. My studio doesn't do it justice because it's a little bit noisy in here because my computer fan is running too fast because of all the video recapture I'm doing, and it's a long story, but it's not the quietest room. But believe me, this thing's got quiet, super clean preamps. And if you're a real audio geek who wants to record in really, really high resolution, it can do that 24-bit, 192 kilohertz sample rate. So I'm not going to use that normally. 24-bit maybe, 44.1 most of the time, but it's capable of that. So check out the Yamaha AG03. I think this could be the perfect voice actor companion. Let me show you why. If you need to record something, I'm going to record a take. And I'm going to noticing that I'm hearing a little bit of delay. That's because I'm hearing the output of twisted wave. Let's make sure I turn off playthrough when recording. And now I won't hear that extra loop back. There we go. So now I'm recording directly into twisted wave. I am actually recording through the compressor and the EQ. I can turn it on and I can turn it off. And it will be recorded with or without, depending on what setting that's in. And now, let's say I want to play back the take to my client. Well, I don't have Skype running right now, but I am recording a screen capture, and if I didn't have the functionality to be able to play back, you wouldn't be able to hear it. So let's try that out. It's in loopback mode here. Let's turn it down and then bring it up. I'll put a twisted wave. Hear that extra loopback. There we go. So now I'm recording directly into twisted wave. I am actually recording through the compressor and the EQ. I can turn it on and I can turn it off. So there you have it. Playback is mixed back in, and you can actually hear the playback of whatever you've recorded. And with one device, you can record and do playback on Skype, on Windows or on Mac. and I believe even on iPad. We'll have to try that one out sometime. Again, I've been rambling on, but it's because I love this thing. I think it's a really flexible, super cool device, and it feels really solid. The sides are plastic, but the main chassis is metal. It feels like it would last a long time. I'm really impressed. I'd say check it out. So this is George Whittam reporting for another episode of Whittam's World. If you've got an idea for the show, send it in to whittamsworld@edgestudio.com. It could be a tech question, it could be a product review idea, or you might have a tip for the listeners. If you've got a technical issue, send that to vostudiotech.com. That's our portal to tech support for anybody in the voiceover world. And also, you can just call us at 212-868-EDGE, of course. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys next week. Take care.